the imperial system. I love it. It's how my brain works. It's how I visualize numbers. It's how I estimate distances. I'm unable and unwilling to change. But you metric users have got a point and an advantage. Having said that, one advantage of the imperial system is it's a pretty good math trainer. It gives a kid a reason to understand fractions and fraction decimal conversions early, perhaps. I know you guys know all that stuff too, but I'm just trying to justify what it is that I use. So, being stuck with an imperial system and an imperial tape, did you know that this is a little slide rule? For instance, let's make up a couple numbers. Let's say that I have to subtract 3 feet 2 7/8 from 8 feet 9 1/4. I go 8 feet 9 1/4 with the end of the tape.
Hold on. 8 feet 9 1/4, yep.
I come back down to where 3 feet 2 7/8 intersects the other side of the tape. And the answer to our problem is 66 1/4 inches. 5 feet 6 1/4 inches. Bam, that's pretty quick. You can do that with big numbers. You can do that with as big a number as you can roll your tape out for. Let's say I'm going to subtract 7'6" from 18 foot 2 1/2. 18 foot 2 1/2.
Hold on. 18 feet 2 1/2.
And I'm going to subtract 7'6". Now you may have already done that in your head. You metric guys are pretty sharp. 7'6" is 10 foot 8 1/2. It's kind of a parlor trick, but we like parlor tricks. Check out my string video if you don't believe me. So an Arizona carpenter, or a Las Vegas carpenter, I worked in Las Vegas for 8 years, will have tapes that last for 2 or 3 years sometimes, unless they get stepped on, or just wear out. You know, the Mylar coating wears off the back and they get rough. But when you're working in a rainy environment in the Pacific Northwest, where 6 or 8 months of the year you're in the rain, and 6 or 8 months of the year you're in the mud, and your tape is always collecting water and dirt and mud, they wear out fast. So if you have a chance, keep your tape dry. And never stick it into a 5-gallon bucket of water and swish it around thinking that you're going to clean it up. You're not. You're going to kill it. So keep your tape dry. You can oil it if you want, but that just makes the dust adhere. So I almost forgot. There's a spring-loaded clip, a spring on the back for slipping it onto your pocket or onto a belt. It comes off with a Phillips screw. The spring is relieved. It's got a cutout in the middle, makes kind of a hole. It can be used to hang the tape on a pegboard or something. That's kind of handy. Doesn't do much for me because I just kind of broadcast my tapes wherever I happen to be, and I have a hard time finding one. One of the reasons for that is because if it's in my bags, and I go to my bags and I pull it out, and I use it in the shop, and I leave it on my pocket, sometimes I go home with it. So it's a good idea to take the clip off of the back of one of your tapes. Some bags, the tape pocket is so tight that it won't fit with the clip on there. But I tend to take one off and dedicate it just to riding around in my bags. It reduces the likelihood of me pulling it off on some other project and not getting it back. One other thing, you know, I did that thing about subtracting, using this as a slide rule. If you're not comfortable with numbers, if you're not strong with numbers and they bug you, it obviously can be used as a cross-check on the dividing number in two. You know, if you've got to divide 9 foot 8 1/2 in two real quick, and you do the math but you're not sure, you can just put the end of the tape on the number and look down at the end, and it looks like it's about 58 1/4 inches. You know, that's easy, intuitive. You probably already figured that out. You may not need to, but there are lots of things you can do with the tape that you may not have thought of, and I've undoubtedly not mentioned all of them. So do me a favor, if you're aware of some other tape tricks, shortcuts, ways to use a Stanley tape that I haven't pointed out or thought of, let me know. Put it in the comments. I love to learn from you. I really appreciate what you did for me on the octagon scale, on the framing square. Thanks, and I look forward to whatever else you can contribute.